Hello, and welcome to another day of TA the Degen way. I just wanted to hop on and take a look at the Ethereum price, and we'll take a very quick look at Bitcoin. And at the end of the video, we'll do one altcoin. I want to take a look at XEN to see where we're at with Zen. Technical wise anyways, I know that they just launched their X1 coin for Zen. I haven't kept up with the latest because there's such a bombardment of new things constantly. I decided just to take my Zen and hold on to it and forget about the rest of it and see how it all washes out. But I'm sure it will bring attention to the network and to the token. But here's our latest trade on Ethereum on our trading view under crypto file 622. You just search that under trading view. We were looking for this rise to 2,200 or so. Really looking for much higher. You can see we've come up here significantly. We've broke above this value area high. We have not put in a higher high yet, but we are right at resistance. It's an excellent spot to take some profit off the table and totally de-risk that trade by, removing a portion, moving stop loss to entry, and if price comes back down and bounces bullishly off, this value area high or key level here, maybe add some of that back in, but that's what I want to look at now. Let's hop on the chart here. So here we got the daily. I was looking at this entire upper section of price action since the last bull run, broke out, got way up here, and here we are. We still haven't hit our value area high, but we're getting awfully close. We have this ascending triangle pattern, which Ethereum hasn't done a whole lot compared to Bitcoin since the bottom, but really it has. This is June. Bitcoin bottomed in December. Way back here. So you have to think that people made the decision and were far more bullish on Ethereum. And we came down and retested that double bottom, and now we've been pushing to the upside with a series of higher highs and higher lows until we reached this point right here where we have now put in a lower low and hoping to put in a higher high. Let's see what the high of this is. I have it marked out at 2135, but that's just kind of an average resistance level. The high of this swing was 2142, and our current high is not there. It's this candle right here, this red one, 2136, and our current candle is 2134. So we're retesting this. There's always the potential that we could come back down and meet up with this ascending triangle. Looking for some confluence there. If we take swing low to swing high, and we would be assuming that we're going to come down, so we want to know how much of this trend is retraced. I don't like making videos without having something meaningful to contribute, so I don't want this just to be some invalid price prediction video, but rather things that you can look for as guiding, principles and factors in making decisions based off of data related to the market. And what other data do you have? The chart is the final culmination of all buying and selling decisions. So we want to know how much of this swing retraced, so we want these retrace numbers going down. This tells us it's retraced 38.2%. Here it's retraced 50% from swing low to swing high. So now if we assume, if we were to come back down to the 618, that doesn't meet our ascending triangle until we get way over here. These don't look like super fast descents. That's always possible, or the 50% mark. Or if we took the 786, that'd be a much quicker drop. But I am still looking for higher prices. I like this value area high in the 2400 area. If we were to go macro-wise, swing high to swing low, currently I'm targeting 22,000. But I have we already have that on our chart. So here's our 1 and our 0. We want to know how much of this trend has retraced to the upside. So we want our numbers going up. So since this low, we have not even retraced 38.2% yet. It's probably 33%, 1/3 thus far. And if we break up, I like how this value area high has confluence with this 382, when in reality, price typically tends to retrace to this golden pocket somewhere, in between the 50% and the 61.8. Really, it's anywhere from 50% to, 78.6%. But a lot of times you'll get, you'll get halfway in between 50% and 61.8, and you'll see a rejection. The 786 would give us a higher high, telling us that, there's a good chance that we are in for a uptrend. Here, as soon as we break the high right here, we'll have our higher high, which is why I think there's a strong likelihood of hitting this value area high and putting in, since this downtrend started, putting in our first higher high, and then be looking for a higher low. And the high here of this swing was, because here's your swing low, swing high. High was 21.64. So breaking up to this 2400 area would be quite nice. And if we take our current range here, let's try expanding that once by a half a range and 2 range. So we'll reverse this. So I've got on the 1.5 and the 2 fibs. That would be taking this entire range right here. Doubling it would get us up here to 2350. Here's this 2200 area I'm looking at more locally. I believe if you come down to smaller time frames, there's a reverse head and shoulders in here that has a target around 2250 also, right in that kind of 1.5, 1.618 expansion area. And let's take this entire, we don't want to expand this whole swing, there's no point in that. We could expand this swing because you have a defined swing high and a defined swing low. So let's go to the low of that. The high is really the same. So if we expand this swing and think of this as one large range here, by 1.5, that gets us up again to our value area high around 2400. So really this is kind of where I'm targeting, is this 2400 area. And if we go back to our TradingView idea page under crypto file 622, if you'd like to join us, we also have a free Discord with nightly charting most evenings around 8 p.m. on Discord, where if you have any questions, you can share your screen. I share my screen. You can always like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, but 99% of the time is spent in that Discord doing the same thing we are doing right now in this video. So here's weekly close levels. If we look at our weekly close levels, let's see. So in the 2400 area at around 23.23, we have that weekly close from the past there. And the next one would be 25.14 right there. So here's our 23.23. Yeah. So a close there wouldn't surprise me at all. A wick up to like 2400. Come on down and close around this $2,300 area. So I mean, I'm still targeting that 2,003 to 400 area, and in all seriousness, on a larger scale, I'm really targeting this macro golden pocket up here in the 0.5 to 0.618 retrace area of 29.12 to 33.90, right in there. And then I would be looking for a retest and a confirmation of our breakout. Like, in all seriousness, what I would like to see is a push up to this value area high and a retest confirming that this is now been flipped into support, and a push up to this area here. And then, you know, maybe we need to range a bit, you know, I don't know, or maybe, you know, we just kind of come on up to our level. And looking at the weekly close chart, if we go back here at these weekly close prices, the culmination of this curvature comes out sometime around June, July of 2024. We also have a time cycle that kind of ends there, but that is more up in the $4,000 or $5,000 range where they meet. So I mean, really, I'm looking for this 3,500 area. You know, anywhere from this 3,000. You know, we're looking at about about $3,000 to $3,500. Bitcoin, I've not taken a look at for a few days. I've had a lot of focus on Ethereum because it, has basically been just reclaiming the high that it put in quite a long time ago. But we can take a look at it quick here. I'll just delete. One thing we didn't look at on Ethereum there is we didn't take a look at our oscillator. Let's take a look at Market Liberator here. When you look at the daily, there's no daily divergence here. You can see that, yes, we came down, but now we're ripping back to the upside. Money flow is nice and thick, roaring to the upside. VWAPs roaring to the upside. I just, there is a divergence in the money flow trend-wise, which is why I would expect at some point in time soon that we should see, one of those 15, 20, 30% corrections, or like a month of sideways action, kind of like what we've had on Bitcoin now. We've had about 1 month of sideways action. And sideways action, long sideways action, that provides time. Momentum is based on how much money is in the market and how much money is coming in the market. So I mean, if it doesn't sell off and just trends sideways for a long time and rebuilds momentum, well then no major pullbacks needed. Ooh. Try to get rid of that there. But looking at our momentum oscillator, we do have the signal that says that, money flow didn't make it up as high this time as it did here, and price is hopefully going to be higher. But if we follow the curvature of these momentum waves here, we would be expecting a culmination somewhere right in around here. Now you can kind of follow this up, So, that's what I'm seeing on Ethereum. We'll pop back over to Bitcoin. Hit the delete button here quick. So, same thing on Bitcoin. I'm looking for $39,000. Why $39,000? If you go back to some of our past charts and our past videos, if we take the fixed range volume profile tool, we look at the volume. When price traded in this upper range previously, runs from about right here to about right here. Oh, you can't do it on the all-time index. We have to go to, we'll go to Coinbase. Let's see here. Let's get rid of these fibs. Here's our main macro support and resistance. And let's see. So let's take a look at price in this range. In the significant volume levels therein. So you only want to look at the volume in here. I don't understand why it's not giving it to me. There's no reason it shouldn't. Well, I don't feel like waiting for that for whatever reason, but if we just scroll down a little bit here. Where is it? There we go. Here's our macro volume levels. BTC macro volume levels. Bullish is the title of this chart. Here we got this blue square where we're measuring just the volume in this upper range. You got this lower range. It's the same exact size percentage-wise. This is 100% of price increase. This is 100% of price increase. And then if we go ahead and press the play button here, price is now way up here, almost at this POC. I mean, she is awfully close, man. It's awfully close to this average move that we were looking for, to, you know, for the potential for it to put in a right shoulder here. I mean, a lot of people are bearish now. I mean, there is more of a reason to be bearish at 32,000 than there is now. I mean, at 32,000, I was bearish open to the point of price coming down to 8 grand. I mean, now we're in this back in this upper range. I mean, 30 to 32,000 should be considered the new 15, 16,000. This is the bottom of the range. So, I mean, at some point in time, we should pull back and retest this. And that is the big pullback that everybody's looking for. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually make it all the way up to this POC around 39K. I've gotten awfully close. And, I mean, that's still my target. Looking at the local price action, I don't know what we got on here. We'll get rid of these squares. I mean, today, I mean, imagine that. We put it on a higher high, but what did we do, though? We came back down, and now we are below these daily highs. Now, if we close down here, I will agree that that is actually pretty darn bearish. And maybe it is time for this correction. And 38, maybe 38,470 is all we get. You know, I mean, that's awfully close to 39,000 bucks. It's very, very close to 39,000. But I mean, we could still continue on up here. Here's our previous highs. You know, but I mean, if we wick above the high and then close below, I mean, that's kind of bearish, you know. And at any time here, we're expecting that correction, that retest, to come back down. Man, excuse me, to come back down and retest this macro support resistance level. Our value area low over here is of the upper range is 30,500. So I mean, there's one level right there. If we assume that that we did just put in a top today at 38,448, assuming that is the top, which maybe we push up a little bit more. Let's see, yeah, I mean, a 50% retrace brings us right to 30, about that, you know, that says 31,693, about, you know, 31,7. That looks pretty nice. Got a nice fair value gap here between this high. So, I mean, I would be looking at this right here. This highs, you know, these highs are, let's see, we got 37,987. So about 38K. That's about $38,000. So I would say to wick above $38,000 all the way to $38,450 and then close back below $38K is bearish. And I would be looking for that retest of $38,000 if it's going to close. And we have 1 hour. So I'm going to assume that this is likely the top of this run. It most likely is the top, and say that this is close enough to that $39,000 and begin looking for that retrace based off of this right here. You wicked up, this was resistance, you wicked up past it, you came back down and closed below, and then now we should be looking for that retrace and then a higher high. But this here, these levels down here, this 32,000 should be considered the new 16,000, and this will be a very nice long opportunity if it occurs. So let's say that we just, come on down from here. We have a good, nice opportunity to hit some of these targets in between 48 and 50, maybe 52,000. The value area high of this upper range is 48K, and if you pull a fib retrace on that, going from swing high to swing low, you will find there is some confluence there, I am sure. So there's swing high to swing low. We want to flip those numbers over because this is the swing low, this is the swing high. We want to know how much of this swing have we retraced. 38.2%, 50%. Here's 61.8, comes out at 48,475. And if you look at the value area high, 48,000. So right in between 50% and 61.8 lies this upper range value area high. So I mean, this right here would be ideal, and I wonder if this would be a measured move. Now that we have a projected top, let's take a look at that quick. And let's say that price does retrace. What was the value area low? It was 30,500. So let's say that we got a top at 38,500 and we retrace to 30,500, which we'll go to these highs here. Let's take this swing, this low, try to get right on that thing. Let's go to this high, and let's go to our retrace level. Look at that. So that's 49K. And let's go down, let's take this down to 30,500, that value area low. Pretty close. Go down just a little more. If you hear all the noise in the background, it's because I have 9 children who don't always cooperate. So here, now if we take this measured move, so we went from swing low to, if this is swing high, which I'm guessing it's going to be, if we're closing in less than an hour, we close below 38K, that's a bearish signal. And we're going to get into that, and this is a swing short that is most likely available and on the table. So if we take this swing low to swing high, and we come down to the value area low of this upper range, measuring just the volume in this upper range inside the green box, there's POC at 39K, which we came awfully close to. And here's the value area low. And if you look at the close prices, yes, our uptrend wicked past it, but where did it close before it rejected and came down? At the value area low of this upper range at 30,500. Now we come over here, we take swing low to swing high, we presume we're going to retrace to 30,500, and well, we got 30,365. Let's move her up just a smidge. There we go. 490 is close enough. Then our high comes out at 47,250. So I mean, I would say somewhere in between 31,000 and 30,500 would be where we would be looking to retrace. Now let's take a look at taking a short position. Let's say we take just the current price right where it's at. Let's put a stop loss above the presumed high that we just put in. Just drag her down to this high. We're talking about a 15% drop, 10-15%er maybe, you know. Could be. It's worth possibly taking a shot at, but that would get us to our macro significant level of $48,000 to $49,000. Let's take a look at our oscillator. Market Liberator B is what I'm using. And, you know, I mean, of course, we've had divergence building for a long time. Money flow is dipping down. We got a little divergence in the money flow. We got a double top on the money flow. If anything, a lower high on the money flow. So, I mean, you know, that's not the most bullish thing in the world. Looking at the daily on Bitcoin, you can see it. Where would you expect a top? Somewhere right in here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. You know, maybe we get another little push up, but I would expect that to cool off a little bit. Let's back out once and take a look at our weekly. And we have been trending sideways for a long time, so divergence or no divergence, this could still rip. Just because there's bearish divergence on, I mean, there's definitely bearish divergence here. I mean, what do I mean? We got, you know, the oscillator put in a lower high, and price put in a higher high. The biggest thing that I see is this candlestick, this daily candle that's closing in 45 minutes. We wicked above 48,000 by 500 bucks or 38,000, and then wicked right back under it. Now, if we bearishly retest this 38K, that is the short entry with a stop loss above this 38,500 area. You know, that's a good signal. But just because that's there doesn't mean that you know, I would be looking for a bearish engulfing candle off this 38,000 area on like the 5-minute, maybe 15-minute, and the hourly oscillator looking like it's about ready to clip off and bend back down to the downside. And I would take a short trade there with a very small risk on it for a very high reward. I mean, of course, but that doesn't mean that we're coming down here. I mean, this here has been, you know, moving pretty much sideways for about a month, so we could continue. And let's come down to our 4-hour ones. Bearish divergence on the 4-hour. VWAP coming down. Money flow is starting to tip to the downside. Let's go to the hourly. And I'm liking the look of this possible short trade on Bitcoin. May finally be ready. That daily candle's what's going to get it for me. The fact that, see, we already did it. Look at that. That is already in. We've already retested that level right there. And firing a short off on this with a stop loss above that 38,500 area is not a bad idea. So, you know, I just don't got time to take a look at Zen, but I'm going to tell you that I'm still bullish on it, of course, and if Bitcoin's coming down 15%, I would expect those altcoins to bleed. So I'm going to expect a little bit more downside or maybe a double bottom on it, but I would like to see much higher prices, and if we get another big dip, I would consider that a gift. So I'm going to target this. I'm going to hop off and actually get into the short trade right now because it's not financial advice. It's just what I'm doing. We've already came back below. This closes in 45 minutes. We've already retested 38,000, and now we're putting in some pretty solid hourly candles to the downside. You know, Got a spinner there coming back up into resistance, engulfing candle to the downside. And look at this hourly momentum. This is what I mean. I don't like to make videos that just give price predictions. I want you to learn something here. Look at this oscillator on the hourly. Where would you expect to top? Somewhere in here. So I mean, there may be another little push up or something, but I am interested in this short trade on Bitcoin. And if it gets stopped out, well, oh well. Am I still bullish on Ethereum? I am, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see something very similar on the small time frames, where, I mean, we could very well pull back down to the bottom of this ascending channel first. There's no reason that you couldn't break down there. I'm looking for the hourly. Oh, I dropped it. There we go. So let's look at the hourly. I mean, the hourly on Ethereum showing the same thing. But instead of putting in a higher high, you actually put in a lower high. So, I mean, whether or not, Ethereum comes way, way down, I guess, it sure could. I would be looking for this trend line down here. That's where I'd be looking. So, hey, if you like the content, like, share, subscribe, join our Discord. It's totally free. There's a link in the description. And until next time, hey, trade well.